So a new One Piece opening dropped and it has an insane amount of hidden detail. So I watched it frame by frame and now I'm gonna show you every single detail. Warning, ironically this contains insane spoilers for anime onlys. The opening starts with Vegapunk's message booting up from inside the hidden room where he transmitted it to the whole world. It then moves on to Nami, Chopper, Robin and Usopp and Addison noticing the message starting up. Lilith and Brook are on the Sunny and Jinbei is noticing the explosion on the Frontier Dome. And Sanji is attacking Saturn, who looks hella menacing. Like most openings that show a bunch of characters from the crew's history, this moment shows characters like Dadan, the Baratier crew, Kokoyashi village people, Crocus, hell even Miss Monday and Ippon Matsu are watching. Notice the foreground has the transmitter snail and an overlay of Vegapunk shows us that all of them are currently watching his message to the world. It then cuts to a montage of various groups watching the message. Iceberg and Galela, Rebecca, Curas and the Dressrosa citizens, the Minks on Zou, citizens of Alubarna in Alabasta, the news team on Morgan's ship, and Stowaway Vivi, Marines, Celestial Dragons in Marijua, the citizens of Karakuri Island with Vegapunk's old lab in the background, citizens and pirates around Sabote Archipelago, Blackbeard's lack is on Hachinosu, Katakuri, Muscato, and some other Totland citizens, and some random bar where people are laughing at Vegapunk's message in disbelief. Then it cuts to Atlas and Frankie riding the vacuum rocket. Afterwards we see Luffy transition to Gear 5, Zoro is fighting Lucci. Insane choreography ending with a pose similar to their fight teaser during Us, the last opening 26. There's a cool shot of the Navy ships floating around the island that is currently getting destroyed by all the fighting. There's a shot of Sanji, Frankie, Atlas, Kuma and Bonnie around the dying Vegapunk, fading into Bonnie that is currently finally seeing Luffy in his Nika form. The vocals begin with a stylistic version of the One Piece logo underneath Luffy's Nika form, and the Kuma silhouette behind him doing the same pose. This also appears to show Bonnie's realization that Luffy is Nika. This fades into the straw hat moving around the screen, which would make you think it's Luffy, but in reality the hat flies off and MF is seen in the background looking towards the screen. We just saw Joy Boy for the first time in a One Piece opening. The hat flies into the sun, symbolizing the sun god Nika. It fades into the Sea Kings that are swimming towards the poneglyph that contains Joy Boy's apology. This instantly cuts into the most insane spoiler of the now reassembled giant warrior pirates crew led by Dory and Broggy walking towards the screen to join the fight on Egghead. This shot also has black bars that create a more cinematic look, and there's also a goofy Gear 5 Luffy that is jumping on the black bars. This fades into York looking confused in the foreground, and in the background you can see Stella, Pythagoras and Shaka when they formed their plan to tell the truth about the world government, doing so literally behind York's back without her knowledge. Fading into Stussy, watching the Egghead get destroyed. Kizaru and Akainu fade into the screen, showing a glimpse of the scene where Kizaru talks back to Akainu about making him go through killing his best friend. Between them stand the Vice Admirals that are currently fighting on Egghead. We cut into MF, present time, getting activated by Luffy's Gear 5, and then to a split screen view of more groups as they watch Vegapunk's message. Notice the split screen's black bar is a map of the Grand Line. On the top, Momonosuke's group. Yamato is clearly missing since she's on her cover story adventure around Wano. On the bottom, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's Cobra's funeral. Vivi here is clearly missing since she's on Morgan's ship. Afterwards, we see Princess Shirahoshi, Neptune alongside the Minister of the Left's hat. On the bottom is the last survivors of Lucia with Mata, the cowgirl. This slowly fades to black, to a finger reach out to a butterfly and getting destroyed. We usually see Imu doing this with the butterflies in the Hall of Flowers, but the hand gets destroyed, so it might be Nefertari Divi Lily, considering her connection to Imu and the significance in this arc. Cutting to an image we didn't ever really see before in One Piece of a wall of books about history and the ocean with a blank space in between. This is obviously referring to the Void Century and the flood that happened during it and how they were both erased from knowledge and history. The light represents Vegapunk revealing that information to the world. It wipes up to a bunch of books sinking into the water, literally showing how part of the world and its history have been submerged and lost at the bottom of the sea. It's similar to the books in Ohara, but they were actually being saved by being tossed into the water. We see at the bottom of the sea a submerged building and a Sea King behind it, showing that the Sea Kings definitely know what happened. Instantly cutting to the four elders on Marijua on top of a summoning portal, coming to fight with Saturn and showing a bit of their monster forms. A big red eye similar to Saturn's earlier eye in the opening gets opened up by Luffy, showing his goofy robbery fighting style and also how he tore through the wall that Saturn poses, symbologically. Luffy inside a hurricane being goofy as always, and Dory and Broggy seeing him trying to provide backup into a beautiful shot of Luffy decimating Saturn. The next scene starts with Red King getting pummeled by a strong right from Frankie. Bonnie is fighting, I'm not sure who that is, it might be Doberman, Tosa, or Guillotine, I'm not sure. But in the background there are some giants fighting. We then cut into Oimo and Kashi, our friends from Ennis Lobby, attacking Nusjura from above. But a sudden frame depicting his monster form causes them to get thrown away as he slices the screen in half. The same slice that cut the entire lab in half. This transitions beautifully into a wall getting cut into pieces as Vivi shows up on the foreground. The wall crumbles into cube pieces. It's the poneglyph, the background being reverse mounted on a map, signifying Vivi's connection to Lily and the poneglyph. A hand, probably Imu's hand, comes down from above to reach her, and a couple of Vivi missing posters get thrown into frame together with the newest Luffy wanted poster, revealing Imu in the room of flowers looking at torn up posters of Shirahoshi and Vivi. Just like the manga, Imu punctures the Shirahoshi poster, the reflection showing us a big capital D, showing how the clan of D are Imu's enemies, and a big thorn in Imu's butt. This cuts into a frame of Shanks, Blackbeard, and Buggy, the emperors, beside Luffy. As a small Luffy walks into frame and puts on his hat simultaneously with Shanks giving him the hat. This transitions to Garling and his God's Knights. I'm pretty sure that's Gunko on the left, I'm not sure which is which of the other three. A similar frame of Kobe now leading Zord members with Akainu and Aokiji in the background, representing how they're part of the navy that doesn't lie exactly within either admiral's worldview. Or maybe hinting at the theory that Aokiji is a Zord member and Akainu was in on it the entire time? The next group is Sabo and the Revolutionary Army, now ready to wage war against the world government after realizing the truth about Imu, leading to Dragon, but now the background is Logtown, back in time to Luffy's execution where Dragon saved him, showing the lightning strike on the execution stage and a time-lapse back to the time when Roger was executed there. I don't recognize anything special during this time-lapse, but during Roger's execution there's a bunch of this tank top 3D guy duplicated everywhere. Closing in on Roger's last smile and transition to his friendship with Whitebeard and Oden, and the time he told them about his dream, together with the similar moment Luffy had with Sabo and Ace, and also the moment Ace and Yamato talked about their dream. This fades into Luffy's pose as he sets sail from Fusha Village, followed by the original 5 crew members putting their feet on the barrel and claiming their dreams. In the foreground, Luffy's moment listening to Blackbeard's speech in Jaya, and instantly transitioning to Luffy's point of view as he tells his crew about his own dream after becoming the Pirate King. This transitions to a bunch of news coups delivering the newspapers, probably the aftermath of Egghead or the newspaper in which Vivi marked an X on Luffy's arm to send a message. This cuts to MF's flashback again, a continuation of what we saw earlier during the title card. He looks towards Joy Boy, who reaches for the hat that flew away towards the sun earlier, but this time it's Luffy who catches it. Incredible symbology of how the straw hat was passed down from Joy Boy to Luffy. After a short black screen, we do see Vegapunk's message slowly fade as the lab is now fully destroyed. All in all, this opening is incredibly directed, so much love and detail. Unfortunately, anime onlys will get spoiled hard, but that's how One Piece openings go.